What's up, everybody? Unrested back with another episode of The Big Red Dot, the show that brings you the best of the bestest from the east to the westest. I'm Unrested with the questions and news that you requested. Guys, I have seen your love and support in the comments, and I will be addressing that later in the video. Let's just say I'm doing a couple tweaks to make sure I'm hitting everything that you guys love, including those of you who called for JFAC. Don't worry, I'm going to try and start including that as part of this segment as well. That said, let's start into our first YouTuber news, a sad story. A YouTuber known as, and I hope I say this correctly, Fizzerp, was sadly killed in a car accident yesterday. And it's really, bad news when you hear something like that, especially because this guy was a really young YouTuber. He was part of the COD scene. If you don't know what that is the Call of Duty pro players scene. Those are the people that pretty much play video games for money. If you don't already know how that works, you can look into it a little bit. This show's not really about that, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. And although a lot of people were very sad and made some great condolence videos, there were some people out there posting hate and posting insults and joking about this tragedy. And to those people, I say this: you're next. You are always next. Death is inevitable, and why you would make fun of someone suffering through the tragedy of another person's death makes no sense, because death is eventually coming for you. You are making fun of something that will happen to you undoubtedly 100%. Even now, as you're watching this video, you are on your way there. Next up, we've got some very annoying news from a radical feminist known as Lucy Green. Miss Green has decided to copyright strike another smaller female YouTuber, go figure, because she used a picture of her in her video. And I'm not saying she took a big chunk of Lucy Green's video and called it her own, or even did commentary over a large portion of Lucy Green's videos. She took a public photo of her that you could easily Google and find and paste to a thumbnail of your video at any point, and put that in her video. And she got her video copyright strike by Miss Lucy Green, who said that she was using her likeness without permission. Yet, if you go to Lucy Green's channel right now, you will find multiple video thumbnails that have the likes of, Justin Bieber, other big YouTubers who I'm quite sure she has not asked for the permission to use their photos, yet has not been copyright striked herself. Gosh, hypocrite much there, Miss Green? In our last little bit of YouTuber news here before we jump into the J News, we've got another strike against Leafy, wouldn't you know it. A YouTuber known as Watch Your Mouth with about 100,000 subs has just come out and revealed that he has been doing multiple videos for Leafy, as well as other smaller YouTubers doing tons of animation work, editing, all different types of stuff. And Leafy was so generous that after working for hours and hours, and I can tell you animation work on a YouTube video takes tons of time, Leafy has offered him $20. Oh, woo! So apparently he wasn't happy to settle for $20 for all this work. He tried to contact Leafy again multiple times. Leafy's ignored him. So finally, he decided to come forward with a lot of incriminating evidence. Number one, that most of the times, all the people he asked for help are never paid. Never paid. Now, let me just tell you, if I ask anybody to film something for me when I'm making a video, on average, I will pay about $150 an hour to literally just hold a camera and point it at me. Okay? Animation takes a hell of a lot more work than doing that. $20 for animation it's not enough. No shout outs, sometimes not paying people at all, not mentioning them, not even putting a link to their channel in his notes on the video. That's repugnant. On top of that, he also revealed that he had been in a call with Leafy, in which Leafy revealed that he didn't actually want to attack Keemstar, which he did in a previous video. If you haven't already seen it, you can go check it out. But he noticed that Keemstar was getting a lot of bad hate recently, and he thought he'd jump on the bandwagon and join Grade A Under A. If you haven't already heard, he's recently taken a bit of a departure from YouTube, in joining him in a sort of smear campaign against Keemstar, in which they made up count them, 5 other YouTubers who were apparently talking trash about Leafy and Grade A, Under A with Keemstar. And he just made these people up, said that they were talking trash, and that 5 people told him that they had been talking trash for ages about him, and that Keemstar's always talking trash about him, yet he was never able to reveal who these 5 people were because they don't exist, it appears. And pretty much his whole entire smear campaign was a complete creation that was meant merely to separate him from the Keemstar audience and hopefully get him more subs. Instead, it's had quite the opposite effect. On top of that, Grade A Under A, who's recently been revealed to also be part of that plot, has made a bit of a departure from YouTube, saying he needs to quote-unquote take a break after it being revealed that he not only pulled this stunt, but has recently been plagiarizing a bit of his material. Anyway, enough of that. Let's jump into J News. Okay guys, it's time for J News, or JP News as I've titled it now, because I had written J News before and people thought I was talking about Jews. I guess they didn't see the news part, the N. JP News, okay? And what I've done is I've combined it with JFAQ. I don't know if you guys know this, but pretty much all the time now, the most recent questions I get tend to be connected to trending topics within the J News. So what I've done is I've decided to make the top J News stories I pick not be the trending ones on different publications online, but your picks as viewers. That means I'm also answering questions while I talk about these different articles. I hope that covers both fields properly and also still gives you that spin you want. A lot of people said they wanted my own personal creative spin, and that's how I've been doing it for years, and I want to continue to do that for you, the very, very loyal viewer. Our first story, a bit of a sad one. 47-year-old construction worker in Fukuoka finally arrested and sentenced to death for the murder of a 10-year-old girl. A sad but true story in which the girl was found in a vinyl bag in the second story of his apartment. So he was caught completely red-handed and 100% guilty. While going through trial, the judge said that he showed absolutely no remorse. So the court, in return, will also show no remorse and sentence him to death via hanging. I'm not a big fan of the death penalty, but I gotta say I 100% agree. This guy deserves death. In our final story, I wanted to end on a bit of a lighter note, so kind of a weird arrest out in Toyama. A man arrested, and the very first person ever arrested in Japan for jailbreaking an iPhone. Now you must think, wow, how many iPhones did this guy have to jailbreak in order to be arrested in Japan and sentenced to jail? Well, it was a whole 5 of them. That's it, just 5. And it was kind of an odd situation. People were asking me, well, why was this guy arrested? What did he do? It doesn't even get that criminal. He apparently jailbroke the phones to add a script to allow people to cheat at a game called, hold on, let me get this right, Monster Strike. Apparently this Monster Strike game is super popular in Japan. I myself have not played it. I'm not a big fan of mobile games. Not saying it's bad or anything. It might be great. I don't know. Maybe try it out yourself if you want to see what this guy was so hot to break the law over. Anyway, he's been sentenced to jail for that, and he is the first person to have done so. And that being said, a lot of people commented on Twitter, and that's Japanese commenters, not anywhere outside of that, as well as Nichan, one of Japan's most popular forums, that they thought the sentence was far too harsh. They actually couldn't believe that this guy was getting this kind of punishment for merely breaking 5 iPhones. Come on now, that is a bit excessive, I would have to say. Alright guys, I just want to end this by talking to you guys, the viewers and commenters, about all your support yesterday. Yeah, my channel's going through a rough time. Even after I talked about losing 600 subs due to YouTube just merely unsubbing people, which if you don't believe me, go read the comments yesterday, and you can see multiple people who are like, that's weird, yeah, I wasn't receiving notifications. Oh my god, I am unsubbed to you, why? It's real, it's happening, and actually I had a couple bigger YouTubers message me last night and tell me they were experiencing a lot of the same stuff. YouTube is in dire straits. It's not going well, and people may wonder, they say, Scott, it's not all about the subs. Scott, it's not all about the money. And you're right, it's not about any one of those things, but you do need to, in my case, make a gamification of some aspect of why you are doing YouTube. Number one, I enjoy it, but I also like to set goals for myself, just like I do at any job, and this is a job, let me tell you. And when those different goals are ripped away or made unfair or made impossible at times, you kind of feel like, what's the point? You're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not earning money anymore because my videos are being demonetized, but at least I can go for the subscribers. Oh, wait, I can't do that either. Oh, wait, and now Heroes is going to come along and I may even have videos deleted. Not just have money deleted, subbers deleted, but videos deleted. You can see it's this three-prong attack that's killing me. I haven't made up my mind yet whether or not I'm going to end my channel. I am swishing the idea around in my head. I need to set a goal. 1,000 subscribers added onto my channel by the end of this month is going to keep me pretty lined up, pretty motivated. I would like to have it be a lot more than that, but due to the fact that even yesterday, after I made yesterday's video, I went from 36,616 down to 36,580. A couple more joined today, but even yesterday I was still losing them left and right. And it's just like, again, you know, what's the point, man? If I can't have any sort of gamification, if I can't have any kind of goal set, if I can't keep the people I've worked so hard to earn their trust and loyalty to my channel because they're being ripped away by a faceless robot, you know, what's the struggle? What's the point? What am I fighting for? It's an unfair battle. But it's support like you guys that keep me motivated to do stuff like this. It's comments, it's constructive criticism like you guys put in yesterday's comments that keep me focused, and that's what I need to do. I need to focus on you, the viewer, making sure I'm meeting your needs, make sure I'm covering the stuff you want, while at the same time trying to make this a bit fun for me, and this is kind of what I've come up with. This show, The Big Red Dot, I hope you enjoy it. Please realize, though, I'm not taking away JFAQ. I'm adding JFAQ to this. I'm making the news segment a JFAQ answering segment for the news questions that I constantly get. But on Friday, I'm taking that and making that nothing but JFAQ. There will be no news, no YouTuber news in that. And that will be used to answer the questions that are not news related, the kind of sort of random questions I get, or the ones that ask me about, I heard about this weird thing in Japan, is it true? So guys, I hope that covers all my bases and your bases, your wants, your needs. If there's anything more I can do for you guys as viewers, please, please let me know. As always, your love and support means so much to me. Until next time, I'm Unrested with the questions and the news you requested. This is Big Red Dot.
Godsmack is how the wind feels on the face of Mike Winfield on his way home from the bar where he works nights, the worst nights. Don't nobody tip right. And between the marriage offers and the fist fights. And if another motherfucker touches wrist trying to pull him into whisper, he ain't making it to me.